Toastmaster. Do it scared. These are the words my speaking coach gave me when I first started speaker training. It was January 2020, and like probably everyone here, I had big plans for 2020. I was going to take my thriving business to the next level and bring it on stage so I could educate financial planners across the country on how to grow their business with video marketing. It was not supposed to be the year I perfected sourdough bread recipes. Now, as soon as I decided that this was an important step in my business, immediately I got the shakes. Stage fright for me is a big deal, and it manifests itself really physically in my body. And I didn't want to be on stage shaking like a leaf. I envisioned myself cool, calm, collected, not a word out of place. Perhaps I set the bar a little high. On this journey, I found 3 tools that got me from shaking like a leaf in my chair to finally stepping a foot on stage. And today I'm going to share 3 of these with you. The first one is a bit controversial. Drugs. You can't make it happen. When the world shut down in March, I breathed a huge sigh of relief. I did not have to be on stage anytime soon. But all those conferences turned into webinars. And what I realized is that staring at a grid of people was just as terrifying for me as staring at a room of people. So I went to my doctor and I got myself some beta blockers. Now, if you don't know what beta blockers are, they basically mask the effects of anxiety and stress on your body. And what happens is because I didn't shake, I didn't feel so nervous. It was interesting to me how the physical manifestations of fear, once blocked, calmed me down. And by using beta blockers, I actually stepped foot on my stage for my first speech and did a 3-hour seminar. I can't believe I made it through. My second tool that I've used is journaling. I've been writing every day probably since I was 16 years old. And granted, 99.9% of those writings are ranting, my to-do list, some big ostentatious goal that I wanted to do in the future. And in 2022, I realized that my writing was really a weak spot for me. And so I decided every day, instead of ranting in my journal, I was going to rant with a purpose. And so I created your typical 3-paragraph story structure for every single diary entry. I would start with a question or an idea or some fun fact, and then I would talk about it like I was giving a speech in my journal. And then I would try to wrap it up with some kind of clever ending. So instead of saying, I rode my bike on the bike path today, I would talk about the sun, how it felt, the wind, the fennel growing along the path, something to make it a story. And really by doing this, well, I'm not going to lie, it wasn't every day, but doing it a lot made me a better storyteller. Not a great storyteller, but certainly better than where I was. And my third tool is education. And I love to learn, whether it's reading a great book, taking an online course, or an in-person workshop. I particularly loved this book here, I Have Something to Say by John Bowell. And since you're all in Toastmasters, you might enjoy this book too. It's about his journey through Toastmasters, and it is funny and entertaining. And I found myself making the same mistakes that he's already talking about. So I felt seen and not alone. The second educational course that I took was my speaker training course, which was kind of expensive and a year-long course. And I realize not everyone has that kind of time and energy to put into public speaking, but there are so many online free resources. I just discovered Craig Valentine's 52 speaking tips, which is just an email drip every week in your inbox. And I love it. He's funny and entertaining and always has a great tip. And then last, but certainly not least, in-person workshops, just like here at Toastmasters. I cannot underestimate how just coming in here, I've only been here for 4 months, and just having the opportunity to speak, even though I still shake just with the anticipation that someone's going to call me for a table topics, but just doing it and being up here and practicing has made such a difference in how I feel. Now, I don't know if I will ever step on stage and not be shaking like a leaf inside, but my goals for 2023 is to ditch those beta blockers, practice here at Toastmasters, and then hopefully thrive on stage in the fall when I have to go back and present. Thank you, fellow Toastmasters.